All right. Welcome to another edition of the Real Estate Insiders. I'm Todd Probasco, VP of Mortgage Lending over at Lakeside Bank in Chicago. And with me today, I have Karmen Spears from Realty Chicagoland. She is the broker owner of her own firm, knocking it out of the park. So Karmen, welcome to the show.
Hello, Todd. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm so glad you're here.
Insiders. I like that.
Yes.
Real estate insiders. Okay. Yes.
I am so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So here we are. We're entering the fall of 2025. You and I are here in Chicago in the real estate biz. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you got into real estate. And by the way, congrats on owning your own firm. That's a big thing. So give us a little background on you.
Thank you so much, Todd. Well, my story, I spent 10 years in corporate America. I worked for Walgreens corporate office in Deerfield, started at the tender age of 18.
I kind of remember you telling me that once. And
Yeah. And climbed the corporate ladder, started out as a receptionist right across the street from the Roberto Center, where the Bulls play.
Right.
And went from a receptionist at 18 to a sales coordinator, administrative assistant for the sales team, then became a sales coordinator, sales representative, then sales kind of director somewhat. And I got laid off in 2009.
Okay.
Before I got laid off, I bought a 4-unit building in 2007, which I still own today. And excuse me, that building somewhat launched me into real estate outside of being laid off. Before I got laid off, when I realized that, okay, they're doing a reorganization of the company and they're laying off people who have been there 10, 30, 40 years. You know, Walgreens had a culture of promoting from within and people retiring with that organization. And
Right.
that was my thought. You know, I'm like, hey, this is it. I'm going to stay at Walgreens. I love this company. But God had other plans. Once I got laid off, before I got laid off in 2007, I reached out to a seller who owned a building across the street from mine. I said, hey, I'm going to I'm being released from here. I had a building. My dad was my carpenter. And I said, hey, maybe I'll start a property management company. It's 2009, rather. The market had just crashed. Who's buying real estate right now? So, hey, it just makes sense to do property management. And I reached out to the guy. He said, hey, I have 10 other properties that you can manage. I began to help, manage his properties after being laid off while going to real estate school. And so before, I'm thinking at that time that I was going to start my own company. Hey, I'm going to start my own real estate company. I'm not working for anyone ever again, ever in life. You will never have that type of control over me ever.
If I get laid off, I lay myself off.
Exactly. And so, but again, God had other plans. He wanted me to learn the business. And I ended up coming across Keller Williams and building my career there for 10 years. I spent 10 years in corporate America with Walgreens and then spent 10 years with my previous brokerage. And then in 2020, during COVID, I stepped out and started Realty Chicagoland.
Congrats. Outstanding.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so proud of when people do that. It's harder than people think. And, you don't live by somebody giving you a paycheck every Friday. You got to make it happen, and you've done it. And it's an amazing feat. So Congratulations to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And, talking to agents who want to get into the business, I was talking to an agent this morning who's joining, and she wants to quit her full-time job and she wants to go all in. And I said, listen, I don't know any other way. This has never been part-time for me.
Right.
Never.
Right.
In 2011, when I got licensed, it was never part-time. It was always full-time. I had no other options but to get up and make it happen.
I love it. And you know what? You and I have been doing it long enough. Anybody who does really well in this business, you're all in. You can't do it part-time. You can't be in or out. There's no gray zone. Either you're all in every day and you give 150% and you're focused and you're going to drive and win, or guess what? You and I, before we started recording, started talking about football, but this will be the NFL. And that doesn't stand for the National Football League. It stands for not for long. You are going to be, I don't know what you're going to be doing, flipping apples at Jewel, but you aren't going to be selling houses and mortgages because it's just too competitive. It's crazy, right? I mean, you know, you're very good at what you do. You and I have been connected for a while, and I watch what you do. When we do a deal, and I'm sure you shake your head, and people don't answer their phone and don't get back to you, it's beyond me. I'm like, how are they licensed? How are they in the business? And Karmen, I always say, we're not going to Jewel for a loaf of bread. We're talking about a $500,000 deal. And you don't want to answer your phone. You don't want to get back to us. Shame on you. And,
absolutely. You know,
right?
And I agree with that. And talking to even part-time agents, and I was sharing with the same young lady, talking to part-time agents, listen, this is not something that you can do haphazardly. This is not a business that you can treat like, oh, this is hundreds and thousands of dollars that people are entrusting to you. And you have to take the time to get trained, to learn exactly what it is that you're doing so that you can help lead and guide your clients and keep us and yourself within compliance. How can you do that part-time? I just don't, and she asks, oh, do you know any successful or agents that do well that are part-time? I don't know a lot of agents, but I don't know any that are part-time.
I don't either. I do not either. And you go to get your taxes done or get a lawyer, a CPA, or a financial planner. Are they working part-time? No.
Exactly.
What in the hell are you thinking that you're going to work at Jewel and then do $500,000 deals on the side?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I got a hard enough time doing it full-time. I mean, it's a job and a half, right?
Absolutely. You know, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
All right. So you're amazing and you're knocking it out of the park. I'm so happy for you. I know you're doing a lot of volume. Talk to us about what you see in the market these days. We've seen an improvement of interest rates. Hopefully some people are putting their house on the market because we've had no inventory.
Yeah.
What are you seeing lately in the real estate world? What's going on?
You know, as you stated, low inventory, still low inventory. And what I am seeing are buyers are willing to do whatever it takes to get the home, to get the property, okay, because the inventory is low. You know, they're willing to go in and do repairs prior to closing, you know, because the inventory is low. I see sellers who are firm on what they're looking for. Chicago is, you know, we have 77 different markets, and every market is different. I even would say that property type has a different market. Example, multi-units have a different market, condos have a different market, single family homes have a different market, depending on where you are. I would say maybe in closer to the downtown area, condos, that could be more of a buyer's market. You have more inventory for buyers to choose from. And when it comes to multi-units, you have less inventory, so it could be more of a seller's market. So, you know, the market, what I see, you know, people always say, oh, during this time, things are going to slow down for you. It's about what you make it, right? As we already discussed, it's about how much effort are you willing to get up and put into it daily. You know, the market it consistently shifts. What they say is shift every 6 months. And you have to be ready for the shift. As we're shifting into the holiday season, things are going to shift. Are you ready for the shift? Are you in position to shift whatever direction the market takes? And yeah, interest rates, we talk about that. That's always a discussion. I bought my building in 2007. I had a 6.5% interest rate. Bought a condo in 2019. You know, then we get hit with COVID. If buyers are sitting back waiting on 2.3%, 3% interest rates, you as a lender, you can attest to, will we ever see that again? I doubt it.
We're not. And, you know, if you look at a 50-year chart on interest rates, we are way below the 50-year average. Today, right now, here we are, September 17th, the 30-year fixed mortgage is around 6%.
Right.
That is a great rate.
Exactly.
With no points. I'm like, my God, I think my first interest rate was 12%, maybe something. It's all relative, but people want to remember 3% during COVID, but that was a freak out. That was not normal, right?
Right.
So,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I mean, you're right. Things change quickly, but we're heading into fall. It's usually a good time. I'm glad to hear there's an increased amount of inventory. Buyers are you still seeing multiple offers on good properties? Like once it goes on the market, is it bam, showtime?
Again, as I stated, property types have different markets. I have a 4-unit I listed, multiple offers, condo in a certain area. It's been sitting, and you can have a single family home, again, depending on the condition, location. You could have multiple offers, or it could 1 or 2 offers, or the lack thereof. But that's why different, when it comes to multi-units, you could definitely have multiple offers on the table. Yeah. Because buyers are looking for that opportunity to offset, right, the interest rate and offset and bring about more income. So multi-units are becoming more attractive to buyers as well as first-time buyers.
Okay. Before we go, I just want to, for people listening, give you a little credibility. This lady's done a ton of business, great reviews, tons of volume. So if you're thinking about buying or selling in around Chicagoland, Karmen is definitely someone to contact. I will include your contact information at the bottom of the video for people who want to reach out to you. But
thank you.
All right, as we look to the future, we're getting ready to wrap up 2025. What are your projections for 2026 in the real estate world? What do you think? I'm not asking about how the Bears are going to do. No, just kidding.
Exactly.
I think we already know that one.
Good luck to the diehard Bears fans. And I would say anyone coming into real estate have that same mentality that Bears fans have. Stick with it no matter what, no matter how you feel, stick with it. I predict, hopefully, as buyers enter, we hope to educate our clients more about what to expect. More so, we always hope that interest rates go down. Hopefully we have more inventory comes into the market, but hoping that, you have more educated consumers in the market that understand that real estate is today. We can't really predict what will happen 6 months from now, what will happen in 2020 or 2030. I'm sorry, not 2020 and 2030. We can't predict that, but real estate is today. It's today. And so to predict what will take place in 2026, I have no idea. And I'm not in a position to help predict that. All I can tell you is what's going on today. And real estate will always bring about, an increase. I believe that there's always investment. There's always an opportunity in real estate. Many didn't think that we would experience a COVID. And when there's opportunity right now, today you might look at, okay, well, let's wait until the interest rates go down. Guess what? You and a million other buyers are considering the same. If that happens, and when that does happen, now you're in competition for that same house that maybe you could have gotten at a better price. And now that interest rate has gone down. Now you're competing with 3-4 different buyers for that particular property, because now is the time to move about. You can refinance as you move on, as interest rates shift, but real estate is today.
Do you know anybody to call for that? No, I'm just kidding.
Absolutely. An amazing lender, Todd. Absolutely. Real estate is today. I can't think about what's going to happen in 2026. All I can do is help to prepare mentally.
Yep.
In your activity, your daily activity.
With a winning attitude, right?
With a winning attitude. It's today.
It's today. Let's make it happen. Make it rain. So a couple things, because I didn't want to interrupt you. You're such a smart person, but you're talking about real estate and you're talking about buyers and all this. If you're renting, the sooner you get into owning real estate, it's probably the easiest way to start building wealth through real estate. You can invest in the stock market, you can put money in the bank. I get all that. but one of the best ways to start building wealth is through real estate.
Absolutely.
I got to tell you this, that I got a little bit of a insight on what I think's going to happen
Okay.
on the next year. That it's not for sure, but I thought I'd share it as I asked you.
Yeah.
When I got in the business way back when, I think the conventional loan amount was like 300,000. Like you could loan up to 300, and that was conventional. Anything over 300 was considered jumbo. As we sit here today, that number is at 802,000, which is insane. If you ask me, that somebody getting a conventional loan can go up to 802. 802. Back when I started, that would buy the whole block. I'm like, so 802,000. But I think rumor has it that we're going to see a tick up in that again, where that number could go up to, darn near almost $820,000. So,
Nice.
Because you and I both know, and anybody listening, costs of homes continue to go up. So with costs going up, the powers to be, the experts, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, continue to raise that dollar amount for the conventional loan amount. And for 2026, we could see that number in and around 820,000, which is crazy in my book. But
yeah, and that's awesome. And it's interesting how we have experienced inflation and how we're still able to make it. We're still able to buy homes. Homes are still selling. We complain about it, and yet we get out and still make it happen. You might not have as many buyers in the market right now, but there still are buyers that are ready to purchase. And, putting sellers in a position to attract the right buyer, that's where hiring a great professional like myself, right, and partnering with you, Todd, to bring those two parties together. A ready, willing, and able buyer that's in a position, as well as a seller that's in a position to come together and say, listen, this is where we are. Let's come together and get to the closing table.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I'm with you. I want to throw one more thing before we try to put a bow around this and wrap it up. For people listening, you have choices. Everyone has choices, whether it be on the internet, which that drives me crazy. A couple of years ago, I'm not going to mention the company because I don't talk bad about people, but there was some lender. This is the craziest thing, that while you're at the gas pump filling your car, you could touch the screen and start a mortgage pre-approval. Who in the heck would start a mortgage at the gas pump is beyond me. But
yeah.
So it's mind blowing. But I want to get to this point that brokers are better, and I mean independent brokers. So Karmen is a broker. She is going to look out for your best interest. You hire her, and she's going to help you buy or sell and give you all your options and tell you what you're looking at and help you get done what you're looking to do. I'm the same way. I'm not this big company. I'm not this huge bank, whatever. I play broker. I'm like Karmen. I'm going to look out for your best interest. I'm going to go shop several lenders to get you the best rate. Come back to you with, sometimes I call it door number 1, 2, or 3, like Monty Hall. Let's make a deal. What's behind door number 1, 2, or 3? Here's your 3 options, and go over the pluses and minuses of each one, and also go get the best rate. So I think if you're listening to our podcast, America, in a way, is starting to lean back toward, it's funny how I say Walgreens, like the little local drugstore or the little local hardware store versus the Home Depot. You can go to the Home Depot. There's huge lenders on the internet. There's huge real estate companies that you can go click and say, I want to buy a house. But I don't think you're going to get the same service and value you would get with a local real estate and mortgage broker like Karmen and myself. Karmen, what are your thoughts on that as we try to wrap this up?
No, I totally agree. That personal touch. We started talking earlier about how some lenders don't answer the phone, some brokers don't answer the phone because they're treating this business like it's just a hobby. It's just something that they do on the side. But that personal touch that you and I offer our clients, the availability, the knowledge, the experience, as well as the wisdom. That's one thing that I pride myself on, is wisdom, because there will be challenges and things that you would have to overcome within a real estate transaction. And to have a partner like you and I working together to help overcome those challenges and those objections are what makes us so powerful and keeps us in the business and keeps people coming back to us. They don't realize how much we work and how hard we work a lot of times on the back end. And they don't, sometimes, you know, consumers don't really see it. They don't see what it takes in order to get to the closing table, as well as, you know, I have buyers that will, why does the lender need all this information? And why do they need all of that information? Well, let's just talk about it for a moment. If your family member even asks to borrow $20 from you, okay, you're going to ask several questions on when you're going to get that $20 back. All right. You're asking a lender to loan you $500,000. Yes, they want to know the birth and the social security and the DNA and everything else of your firstborn. And so be prepared to do that and give them what's needed so that you can get to your home, build your family, develop the lifestyle that you want. But you have a partner with us that will help guide you through that and hope to overcome those challenges. You know, right. It's all fun in the beginning. Everyone's excited, right? But it's just you and I right here. There are other, how many moving pieces to a real estate transaction? There are
a ton of
moving.
And I have a saying on that. There's no such thing as a good surprise in a real estate deal. Nobody says halfway through, hey, guess what? An extra 10 grand just fell in your pocket. No, it doesn't go that way. That's why you hire people like us, because we don't know everything, but we've seen quite a bit to try to avoid issues from happening, right?
And communication is key.
Communication
is so, I mean, to at least be in the knowing, to at least have someone that when you call, you have an answer. When you text, you have a response. There's no such thing as an hour wait for a response. No, you get a response within 10, 15, 20 minutes, the longest. And
you just made me think of something. Mm-hmm. How about when we call these national companies where someone went and clicked and you call the number and it automatically goes to voicemail? Don't you love this one? We will return your call within 24 hours. 24 hours? Dude, I need an answer now about this thing. And we'll get back to you within 24 hours. 24 hours.
Absolutely.
Where do these people come from? And it's but that would never happen with you and I. So
it's too important. And, you know, what you and I do, we'd like to put ourselves in a position of our clients, right? We like to make sure that the type of service that we would like, that's the service that we would want to deliver to our clients, right? And make sure that we're 100% looking out for their best interest. It's not about what we want and what we think is most important. It's about what's in the best interest of the person that we're servicing and our clients. You know, I like to empower. I want individuals and clients, buyers and sellers to know that you're in control here. You're in control. You've hired us to do a job, and it's a partnership. Just like it's a partnership between you and I, it's a partnership between us and our clients. It's a partnership. There's something that I have to do in the process to help you move things forward, and there are things that you must do.
Yep. And
we're not that
the path of least resistance, or the easiest way to get to the goal line, which is the keys of the house. Follow the plan, whatever Karmen or Todd says, just do it, get it in, and guess what? This thing's going to work perfect. When people don't follow the plan or do what's asked, you know what that turns into.
Trust your team, right? You have to trust your team.
Yep, exactly. Well, I'm going to try to wrap this up. I want to say it's an honor to have you on today. You are an amazing person. And like I mentioned earlier, I will have your Karmen's info at the bottom of the video. If you're looking at buying or selling in and around the Chicagoland area, please give her a call, reach out to her. I'll have her phone number and email listed in her website. She's a wealth of knowledge. as she said herself, she believes in knowledge is power. And she could help you. And then on the flip side, if you're looking for any information on financing, I'm available as well. Karmen, any parting words before we sign off on the podcast?
No, thank you for, again, the opportunity. And my wealth of knowledge comes from partnerships like this, with individuals and lenders and partners that know more than me. I know how to help you go from A to Z, from the time we go under contract to closing, but I rely heavily on my partners, my lenders, you, Todd, my attorneys, my inspectors. I rely on my team to help us get our clients to the finish line. And that's what it takes. It's a team effort. And every team player have one goal, and that's to keep the client's goal and hard direction in the center and not our own. And so I appreciate the opportunity. I'm available for anytime you ever want to chat again, and I look forward to having you on Karmen's couch.
I love it. All right. So on behalf of the Real Estate Insiders here in Chicago, this has been Karmen Spears from Power Realty Chicagoland and Todd Probasco, VP of Mortgage Lending at Lakeside Bank. Thanks for listening and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.